What does it do? I'm not very.
It's a psychedelic, right? That's its main function, and it's been big recently as a treatment for things like PTSD and some intractable mental health concerns. And there's even where there's guided ketamine use, where I think you microdose the ketamine or you microdose hallucinogens of some kind, and that is supposed to be helpful. So it's a drug that is sort of fashionable in lots of ways. That's why when you said he was sort of staring off into space, my understanding is that ketamine acts as an hallucinogen, and it's not the sort of it's the sort of drug that you would take if you want to have an experience. It's not the sort of drug you take to visit the White House. There's a Ukrainian word for the pleasure you see in seeing two people who you equally dislike fight.
Right.
And I can't pronounce it, but there's like a word for it. And so there is something a bit joyous. There's some Schadenfreuden, there's some jouissance or something in this, watching the two of them go at it. Am I wrong?
There's active Tesla protests out there, and there's actually some people doing vandalism and those kind of things with those. So the one I saw, the picture of one I saw, the guy took out of his windshield of the truck in front of him had Toyota on the back. So I thought that was
there's a bumper sticker you can buy that says, "I bought this before." What if we think about this from a collective, and that Trump and Musk are somehow they are a function of our current historical context. So they are the key figures we need at this moment, because they reveal something about just the whole shape of our current situation, right?
Yes, I think so.
So if that's the case, because the wealthiest man on the planet is kind of wacky.
Yes.
The most powerful man on the planet, because he's not just leader of the free world, by and large, if you're president of the United States, you're the most powerful man on the planet.
Yep.
Also wacky.
Yes.
And wacky in different ways, but it may say something about the current system, right? Because, again, Trump was elected. People bought Tesla cars. Right? So if we think about it this way, the goal is, maybe in some ways, this should require soul-searching. Not just what's wrong with Trump and Musk, but what's wrong with us. Right. Am I wrong?
Yeah, that was a terrible product. It seems like
you could lose fingers
or something.
You could lose fingers. There was before they had the update. You could
see. I was wondering what that was. I'd see them around, and I thought, is that some kind of new combat vehicle or whatever?
Yeah.
I just would. And then I thought maybe it was a kit. Somebody took a chassis and put a kit on, and then I found out it was a Tesla product. So.
Stephen Miller had a black eye. It looked like that the two of them had got into a physical altercation, possibly over Miller's wife that Musk was apparently having an affair with.
And she's working for Musk.
And
employed.
And I think he has, he's got 27 kids or something from different women. But there was indication that he was doing lots of drugs, lots of ketamine, and his behavior had been pretty bizarre.